So does anyone else just feel like a lazy slob when they're using AI? Because I definitely have. And I just feel like it's making so many things easier, you know? And I think for a big part of the population, this is going to bring about something that I will refer to as the great slobbing. You know, like everyone's just gonna get dumber and dumber. Not everyone, but a good amount of the people. And for some people that's gonna take place, but I think for others, it's gonna be a reason to work harder, build better lives for ourselves, and learn to use the tools that we're given, right? So I learned Chinese before AI came out. And even before AI, I was pretty pleased by the ease of learning the language with the tools that I had. You know, smartphones were out, Google Translate, dictionary apps. I could basically draw a Chinese character on the app and check what it means if I saw something that I didn't recognize. So I got pretty good at checking the dictionary a lot, and that's what helped me learn really quickly. And basically, like, I imagined if my parents had to do the same thing in the 80s or 90s, you know, to learn a language with such a different writing system, they would have been stuck thumbing through these complex dictionaries. I mean, people did it, right? But it was a lot harder, so it was definitely a lot less people. And I think now that technology has kind of expanded, it's also increasing the amount of people who are able to learn foreign languages. Okay. So really the list of excuses for people not to learn is decreasing, and the reasons to learn are increasing because the world is so globalized now, and there's more to benefit than to lose from learning. I'm gonna sit down. I feel like I'm gonna walk into something if I keep walking and talking. But basically, I learned Chinese during the smartphone era. It was really easy for me to check stuff on dictionaries. I made digital flashcards. I used Translate apps quite a lot. And I still have my smartphone from back then, and I kind of hold it with a kind of reverence because it was like one of the main tools that allowed me to learn Chinese, was having one of these. So really, it made such a huge difference for me. Also, like being able to text people back and forth, like see full conversations written out, that helped me as well to really improve my Chinese reading and writing ability. Like now, the kids who are learning, they have all these AI tools, so it's even easier for them to learn than it was for me. You know, they have crazy image recognition and speech recognition technology, instant feedback on speaking and writing. You can even have like human-like language partners where you don't even have to embarrass yourself by talking to a real person, apparently. So yeah, the list of excuses is getting smaller and smaller, guys. And we have all these amazing tools, right? But the thing that we need to remember is, like, we need to really differentiate between what is effective language learning and ineffective language learning, okay? For example, I know of a lot of people in both my home country, America, and also here in China who use Duolingo. And I'm sorry, I don't really consider that to be an effective way to learn a language. That's just really an excuse for you to be on your phone. I think the app is honestly really cringy, and it sends you notifications if you don't use it every single day. Okay, bad, guys. Like, you don't need to be using an app every single day to learn a language. And I think that it kind of gives people this false hope and also this false sense of confidence that their brain is like active and growing when all they're really doing is memorizing vocabulary, which, you know, if you don't apply the vocabulary, you're basically just wasting your time. Sorry. And let's not forget that Duolingo is made by Americans who, in the world, everyone knows that like Americans are the least likely to learn foreign languages, okay? So why do we trust Americans' opinion on how to learn a language? And I know some of you are like, well, Jake, you're American, and I know, but hear me out, because I'm actually at the other end of this, and I've actually become fluent in 2 languages other than English already. And I'm not talking about like party trick level fluency, as I like to call it. I'm talking about like full working proficiency, reading and writing. So the most ideal situation to learn a language quickly will almost always be to move to another country. And I know that's not an option for everybody. So the next best thing will be to surround yourself with people from the target language. With Chinese, this was super easy because I think almost every city, almost every college campus, not every, but like you get what I'm saying, pretty well distributed throughout the world are Chinese people. And you'll find very friendly Chinese people in any city in the world, and they'll be very willing to help you with your Chinese and give you fantastic cultural experiences that will help you build your language skills. I think a lot of people also feel really shy and socially awkward and might not be super willing to put themselves out there or be vulnerable or make mistakes in front of other people. But you know, that's something that we really have to overcome. Quick story time. People who know me and my family know that my mom is an interesting character. One time we were at a restaurant in New York City and this Chinese guy walked in. And my mom decided that we were not going to leave the restaurant until I practiced my very basic Chinese with this guy. And I was like, Mom, you can't do this. Like, I barely speak any Chinese. And she's like, come on, I paid for your tutoring. Talk to this guy. So I did, you know, not my first rodeo with these kind of situations with my mom. So that's kind of the environment I grew up in, was my mom always pushing me to do these things. So I talked to this guy. I spoke to him in like a few sentences, and I was embarrassed, but the guy was actually super happy that someone made the effort to connect with him. So I have to say, like, I'm really glad that I even did that. And I think that put me on a path to be really brave with Chinese, to just talk to people. And my friends all know that I talk way too much. And that's really one of the things that propelled me forward in my language learning. And like, if you're ever feeling embarrassed about practicing your language with someone, just don't, like, talk to them. Because what better way to welcome someone to your country than by speaking to them in their own language, right? Or even if you're in their country, like I'm in China, people here are pumped that I learned Chinese. Like, they see so many foreigners who don't even bother that are here. And when they meet someone who does speak Chinese and does understand their culture, they're just so flattered. So guys, like, don't hold back, embarrass yourselves, make mistakes, it's fine. You need to start from somewhere. After I started university in America, I knew that one of my goals was to become fluent in Chinese. So I was talking to my professor, like, how can I become fluent? And he said, well, you need to go to China. So I did, and I went to Beijing. And at Beijing, I did an intensive language program for 2 semesters where I basically had Chinese class for 4 hours a day. And all I did the whole time was study Chinese. So I could just go sit in the library for hours a day and study and review vocabulary. And that really gave me a super strong foundation in the language. And I know that might not be an option for everybody. So, you know, let's say you're in university, you're taking one Chinese course, be sure to take opportunities to go talk to people in the language. And that's going to help you really solidify your speaking and your listening. And, you know, once you get to a strong intermediate level, that's when you can really start building, you know. So really build up to that level by taking classes. Maybe you need a tutor. But once you have that foundation and you feel like you're ready to just go out in the world and kind of live it yourself, then you can really continue to learn by, when you see a word you don't know, check it in the dictionary, and always be talking to people in the language. And basically by doing that, I was able to get to the point where I easily passed a Chinese certification test. I passed HSK 5. I could probably pass the higher level if I wanted to, but I decided to just do the 5 because it was easier and quicker and gave me the same amount of credit for my work visa. But basically, like, speaking Chinese has really allowed me to get my foot in the door for a lot of different things. Like last year, I landed this fantastic job as a furniture designer, and I'm really enjoying it. And they didn't hire me because I'm like the top design talent. They hired me because I have decent design skills while also being fluent in English and Chinese. So basically what that means is I can really help them communicate. I bring a lot to the table to help them collaborate with overseas clients and designers while also being able to make a contribution myself. So basically my advice in that regard is learn your major in school. That's great. And then also learn a language on the side, because that's going to compound the benefits of your major. Like, especially if you're in college, I strongly suggest that you prioritize learning a language. Just do it, you know, and take it very seriously, because it will pay dividends at the end. And if you're wondering what language to learn, you know, pick one that will make a difference for you in your future. For me, that was definitely Mandarin. And if I could go back and choose again, it would still be Chinese, Mandarin, guys. There's just so many opportunities to be had by knowing this language. I think a lot of people think it's really trendy to study like French or Japanese or these languages of countries that are a little bit more glamorized. I also see Korean being very popular. Those are great, but I still think that Mandarin is providing the most opportunities. So really consider that as you're thinking about what language to learn. And, you know, I know a lot of you will say, well, like, yeah, Mandarin's just too hard. I don't think I can do it. Like, it looks that way. But once you get learning it, once you like have the right attitude about doing it, once you start speaking, practicing, learning the characters, it is very manageable, honestly. And I just think a lot of people have the wrong attitude about it. So if you can get past that, you're going to get really far. So guys, just to kind of wrap this up, like, if you're in college, by all means, start learning a language. If you're starting your career, learn a language. If you are stuck in the middle of your career and you're trying to get into the next phase, pick up language learning, even as just a hobby, because it's very rewarding. I promise it's like one of the most fun and exciting things I've been able to do. And it's been really fun to progress and get better at speaking to people and understanding what's going on while living here in this country. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and please let me know if you have any comments or questions.